and girls. Today we're going to talk about some basic notes and their partner rests. Every note has a partner rest, and in order to be a partner, you are going to share your first names, which is unlike us. We share our last names in our families, but partner rest and notes share their first name. They will also be worth the same amount of beats, and one we will hear and one will be silent. So we're going to start with our whole note. The whole note is just a round, hollow note head. The whole note is worth 4 beats. If I were to clap and say the whole note, I want to make one sound that is going to last and carried over 4 beats. So for example, to clap and say the whole note, you simply go 1, 2, 3, 4. I made one sound that was carried over those 4 beats. If I were to sing a whole note, I would want to sing one sound that lasted 4 beats without any pause or interruption. Now, the partner to the whole note is going to be a rest, and it will share its first name. So the whole note's partner, the first name has to be whole, and in fact it is. It is the whole rest. The whole rest is a simple line and then a box colored neatly. Of course, we always want our music nice and neat. Colored in black. Now, to be a partner, it shares its first name, whole note, whole rest. It will be worth the same amount of beats. Our whole note was worth 4 beats. That means our whole rest is going to be worth 4 beats. And as partners, we will hear one of the partners, but the other partner will be silent. We will always hear the notes. The notes make sound. Your rests are always going to be silent. So if I were to count a rest, I would need to count those 4 beats silently. That would be a whole rest. Now, we also have the half note. The half note is also a round, hollow note head, but the half note has a stem. That stem can either go up on the right or down on the left. Either one of these, stem up or stem down, is still a half note. A half note, one half note, is worth 2 beats. So if I were to clap and say a half note, I would need to make one sound that lasted or was carried for 2 beats. 1, 2. So one sound that is carried for 2 beats. If I were going to clap both of these half notes, one right after the other, it would sound and look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I were in a measure of 4/4 time. The half note's partner, we already know its first name has to be half because they share their first names. And sure enough, the half note's partner is the half rest. To draw the half rest, again, we have a simple line, but this time the box is on the top. I again am going to color in that box neatly so my music looks very nice and neat. And that is the half rest. Again, both first names are the same, half note, half rest. They're going to be worth the same amount of beats, 2 beats per half note, 2 beats per half rest. One partner we will hear the half note, 1, 2, and one will be silent. Now with the whole rest and the half rest, there's a few tricks to help you remember which one is which. With the whole rest, you can pretend that you're walking along, happy as can be, and if you're not careful, you're going to fall into the whole rest. The half rest kind of looks like a hat on someone's head. So half rest, hat, kind of start the same, so kind of sound the same to help you remember and tell the difference between the two. Another note that we're going to look at is the quarter note. The quarter note, again, we start with the note head. Every note will always have a note head. Sometimes those note heads are round and hollow, and sometimes those note heads are colored in. For the quarter note, the note head is colored in. Again, I'm wanting to color it nice and neatly to make beautiful music. On the quarter note, it also has a stem just like the half note. That stem can go up on the right, or it can go down on the left. Again, there would still be a quarter note, whether the stem goes up on the right or down on the left. The quarter note is worth one beat. So when I clap and say the quarter note, my sound is only going to last one beat. With the quarter note, I'm not carrying my sound longer than a beat, just one beat. So it would sound one. It's partner rest. Again, we'll have the first name, quarter note, quarter rest. The quarter rest looks like a backwards S with a C at the bottom. Quarter note, quarter rest, one beat and one beat. But the quarter note again, the notes we hear, the rest are silent. So to do a quarter rest, it's simply one beat of silence. And then finally, boys and girls, I'd like us to look at our eighth notes. Our eighth notes are going to have a colored in note head, just like the quarter note. And they do have a stem. That stem can go up on the right or down on the left. But what makes it different is that there will be a flag at the top of the stem or at the bottom if it was going downward. The eighth note is only worth half of a beat. Sometimes, quite often, we will see our eighth notes join together. So they will take one eighth note, and we'll say the stem is going up. They add the next eighth note right next to it. Stem is going up. And they are connected with a beam going across the top. Now, when they are like this, each eighth note is still only worth half a beat, but they are two short sounds, one right after the other. So if I were to clap a simple eighth note, I only want to clap on the first half of the beat. It's a very short sound. But if I have two together, then I can put both of those sounds, but they have to share that one beat. So again, they're the same half a beat, but they're sharing that beat. So it would simply be one and. Now the eighth note also has a partner. Every note has a partner rest. The eighth note's partner is going to be an eighth rest. The eighth rest looks like this. And it shares the first name, eighth note, eighth rest. It is also only worth half a beat of silence. And we will hear the eighth note, and the eighth rest again will be silent. So to do an eighth rest, it would just be a quick half beat of silence. And that would be your eighth rest. I could put the two together, which might be a little easier to see how it works. If I were to do an eighth note and an eighth rest, it it would be two short rhythms. One you would hear and the other would be silent. So would be your 8th note, your 8th rest. Or if you put it in reverse, you would have your half a beat of silence and then your half a beat of sound. But all of those, both of those have to be within that one beat because they are worth half a beat. So again, boys and girls, we have our whole note with 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. The sound is carried for 4 beats. Again, if you were to sing it, just one continuous sound for all 4 beats. Its partner, the whole rest. Don't fall into the hole. It is 4 beats of silence. The half note is worth 2 beats. A round hollow note head, stem going up on the right, down on the left. 1, 2. One sound carried for 2 beats. If you were to sing it, it has a partner half rest. Looks like the hat on someone's head. 2 beats of silence. Our quarter note has the round hollow or the round note head, but it is colored in. Stem could go up on the right or down on the left. It is worth 1 beat. 1 or just 1 beat. Its partner, the quarter rest, 1 beat of silence. And then finally, again, our 8th note. If it is an 8th note on its own, it'll be a colored in note head with a stem either going up or down, but it will have a flag on that stem. If you have 2 8th notes together, they're joined by a beam going across the top. But an 8th note is only worth half a beat, very short. 1. Its partner, the 8th rest, is only worth half a beat, but it is silent. And it's easier to see when we put them together. And you hear the half beat sound and a half beat of rest. So boys and girls, we take these basic rhythms, these notes and their partner rest, we combine them and join them together to create our beautiful music. Next time we will be writing some music in multiple measures and clapping and saying them.